The pendulum swings. That's what one of my friends told me when I was kind of going through a rough situation in my life and I felt like I had made a bad decision, right? My friend told me the pendulum swings, my friend, right? And I had a friend tell me, think about all these guys in prison who they kind of made decisions that kind of like may have messed up their life and they set the perfect launch pad for massive amounts of success. And I was kind of thinking about what he meant by that. He was basically telling me that, Ed, because you made a couple of mistakes in your life, because you made a couple of bad decisions, because, right, you kind of did things that you didn't really mean to do, you set the perfect environment and the perfect launchpad for massive amounts of success. He said, think about it, Ed. If you didn't destroy your life in some ways, you wouldn't be as super motivated to become a superstar of yourself. He said, think about the kind of guy you were before you made your mistakes, before you kind of went through your challenges. You probably weren't as motivated to become as successful as you did. And I was thinking about it and I said, you know what? This guy's actually right. When I was 20 years old, before I kind of went through my own challenges in life, I wasn't really motivated to become super successful. I was like, let me just make 100K a year and I'll be happy. Now, when I went through my own challenges and I started to grow spiritually and I kind of went through some real stuff in life, I said, you know what? I know who I am. I know what my soul is. I know what my life purpose is. And I am suddenly strong enough and ready enough to handle massive amounts of success. And I am now ready for it. And after that period of tumultuous times and challenges that I faced in my life, I was now prepared and I had the initiative and the energy to reach massive levels of success. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. In life and in the universe, the pendulum always swings, right, from left to right. There's a yin energy and yang energy. And this is not necessarily good and evil. This is literally just light and darkness, right? If you reach massive amounts of success in life, you're probably going to have some negative things happening to you from time to time. It's literally going to happen because the pendulum swings. If you're going up in life, I promise you the pendulum is going to swing in the opposite direction. And you're going to go through some rough times every once in a while. You're going to have something happening to you every once in a while. And you don't need to think about, oh, why me? Woe is me. You don't need to think about it like that. You just got to look at it as the pendulum swings. What goes up must come down. And what goes down must come up. And if what goes up doesn't come down, if what goes down doesn't come up, it's literally going to disrupt the law of the universe, right? It is literally a law of the universe for the pendulum to swing. So if you made some mistakes in your life, if you went through your own challenges, or if you didn't like how your life was going for you, keep in mind, you have set the perfect conditions for your life to swing in the opposite direction. That's the only other direction it can swing in. So it's something to keep in mind. If you want to have fun in life, right, if you're the guy who chooses to have fun in life, naturally you're going to get into trouble more often. The pendulum swings, right? If you want to have fun, you're going to get in trouble more often. It's simply a law of the universe. Now, you can decide to be the type of guy who travels in a straight line, who doesn't want to have fun, who doesn't want to make a lot of money, who doesn't want to build a status, right? And you'll probably find that you'll get yourself into trouble less often, right? You get yourself into bad situations less often. Because that's what happens when you travel in a straight line. You're going to have less good things happen to you and less bad things happening to you. You're just going to be nobody, just traveling in a straight line. But once you choose to be on a higher frequency, once you choose to have fun and laugh and smile and go make a lot of money, and go make success out of yourself. Naturally, if the pendulum is swinging in that direction, the pendulum has to eventually swing in the other direction. And that involves getting into trouble, that maybe negative things happening to you. It's not about speaking the things into existence. It's about the universe requires balance. And there is a light for every darkness. There is a yin to every yang. There is white for every black, and there is hot for every cold, right? There is opposites, polar opposites for nearly everything in the universe. And if you're the type of guy who wants to make a lot of money and who wants to have fun, don't complain when something happens to you. It's literally guaranteed. It's literally a law of the universe that something is eventually going to happen to you if you want to swing into the higher frequency, because the pendulum must swing in the opposite direction. The stock market goes up and down. It does not go up forever, right? Keep that in mind. And embrace your challenges, and embrace your difficulties, and embrace your tumultuous times, because they come with the good times as well, because the universe requires balance.